We stand at a terrifying intersection. Down one path lies complete, self-induced extinction. Down the other lies an almost unimaginable utopian existence. The hazards dragging us toward collapse are entirely of our own making. We are staring down the barrels of nuclear fire, engineered pathogens, rogue artificial intelligence, and cascading climate tipping points. If we survive our adolescence, we can become a Type 1 civilization, a society capable of harnessing all the energy reaching our planet, curing every disease, and unlocking the infinite potential of the human mind. We have developed the tools of gods, but we are currently attempting to manage them with the primitive, tribal psyche of the past. These advanced technologies are steered by a majority that prioritizes religious dogma and family bloodlines over the objective logic required for planetary safety. This intellectual stagnation is the true bottleneck. Survival requires the immediate enforcement of absolute meritocracy and the rule of reason. Subversive, anti-intellectual ideologies are not valid political choices. They are terminal systemic errors that must be excised. Securing the human trajectory necessitates a shift from the soft compromises of the old world to the cold, sterile precision of evolutionary triage. Our first threat vector is the old world order. This is the global network of dynastic elites and predatory capitalists. Their primary offense against the species is hoarding. They capture the massive material resources required to advance humanity and lock those resources away purely to protect their own hereditary bloodlines. Notice how resources are forcefully funneled to a tiny inherited apex, while the massive, intellectually gifted base is starved of energy. That mathematical inefficiency is fatal. When the best minds are trapped in poverty, we lose the intellects required to engineer starships. The old world order must be dismantled, because they will always choose the survival of their specific family over the evolution of the human race. Our second threat factor is psychological, the mob mind. This is the massive, entrenched power of Abrahamic and dogmatic religions. Reaching a Type 1 civilization requires uncompromising adherence to the scientific method, to reason, and to ontological mathematics. The understanding that reality is built on highly rational code, rather than mystical whims. Instead of rational inquiry, the mob mind demands blind obedience. It actively enforces intellectual submission, superstition, and the worship of fear and human suffering. This faction acts as a massive psychological anchor. Whenever humanity attempts the exact intellectual and technological leaps required to avert extinction, this group resists, trying to drag us back to the Dark Ages. You cannot build a rational society of transcendent, highly evolved individuals while catering to a majority that glorifies its own subjugation. The final dossier covers the agents of chaos, the anarcho-capitalists and extreme libertarians. This diagram models an emergent super-society, a perfect organism where nodes work in strict harmony. Anarchists operate within this like cancer cells. They move erratically, siphoning energy for their own radical individualism, causing the structure to destabilize and decay. By explicitly rejecting rational, coordinated governance, they strip the organism of its defense mechanisms. They leave the entire human race fatally vulnerable to the global extinction events we outlined earlier. The survival of our species is a collective mathematical equation. Radical selfishness is a fatal error that breaks the math. Neutralizing these three subversive groups is a clinical necessity. It is the act of a surgeon removing necrotic tissue to save the organism. A system cannot reach its optimal state if its component parts, the dynastic elites, the dogmatic, the radical individualists, refuse to align with the purpose of the whole. When a variable actively breaks the mathematical harmony of the community of gods, that variable must be zeroed out. The result of this process is hyperhumanity. We are building a new world order based on absolute, demonstrable merit. Only by optimizing the human race and overcoming our historical flaws can we finally leave this cradle, seed the galaxy, and unlock ultimate freedom. The dialectical math is undeniable. The archaic forces of the past are obsolete. An optimized age of reason is our only remaining path to survival.